Hi, I'm Donovan Davis, Senior Product Specialist for DJI North America, here at NAB 2023, and we're very proud and very honored that the Inspire 3 has won the CineD Best of Show, the NAB Show Product of the Year Award for 2023, and the Production Hub Award of Excellence. Thanks so much.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the DJI booth at NAB 2023. My name is Ferdinand Wolf. I'm a Senior Product Manager at DJI and the Creative Director for DJI Europe. So today we want to talk about our latest drone for professionals, our latest cinema drone for professionals, the Inspire 3. So actually this is packed with a lot of upgrades and updates compared to our previous generations. I'll walk you through the most interesting features. There's actually a lot to cover, and I'm trying to get as compact as possible. So let's start with the aircraft body. So as you can see, it's a typical Inspire. So we kept its compact and ultra portable form factor. So you can still basically strap it on a backpack, throw the remotes in the backpack, some batteries, and hike up a mountain as a single person. The compact form factor is also the big advantage that you can fly in narrow and tight spaces or close to subjects. The batteries, the new TB51 batteries are still under 100 watts, so you can travel with it on board of an aircraft, can put them in the hand luggage, which is very essential when traveling with the drone. The aircraft body has some essential and crucial updates. For instance, we integrated most of the body parts like the FPV camera or the obstacle sensors. Speaking of, the obstacle sensors are now here in the arms. We have 360-degree omnidirectional obstacle avoidance. You can fully configure it, so you can either have automatic bypass or stopping, or you just turn on audio or visual warnings, which helps the pilot a lot when navigating in tight spaces. The FPV camera is heavily upgraded compared to i2. We use a new, larger sensor with way better low light performance, so you can basically fly at night, which makes navigating a lot easier. We also use an ultra-wide-angle 161-degree lens. That's double the FOV of Inspire 2, and basically very similar to what you usually use on FPV drones. So you can fly the Inspire 2 FPV style, even without line of sight. And that's a huge benefit, because sometimes on sets, you cannot always clearly see the drone. Maybe one of the most important upgrades is the main camera. So we have a custom-built full-frame sensor with a resolution of 8.1K. The dynamic range goes up to 14.7 stops, and it's a dual native ISO sensor. So you can shoot at ISO 800 or at ISO 4000 natively, which makes it a very low light capable sensor. We're also using the DJI Cinema color system that you know from Ronin 4D that brings enhanced color science to the Inspire 3. Everything is recorded onto a 1 terabyte SSD, which we also took over from the Ronin 4D. And the great thing about that is it uses a USB-C connector, which you basically can give out to the DIT. Everybody has a USB-C cable. You don't need any specific readers anymore. You can give away the media. They can send it back whenever they're done. And you don't have any troubles finding the right reader. So coming back to the camera, as I said, it's a full frame sensor. So we have 4 lenses currently available for the camera. We have one new lens, that's the 18mm, which covers the full frame sensor, because our previous generation X7 had a Super 35 sensor, and the 16mm was only for the Super 35 sensor. So this is the new wide angle lens for the X9 Air. And there will also be a new telephoto lens coming out later. Talking about control options, actually there's a huge upgrade in that area. We have a completely new remote controller. So this is the RC Plus, which we introduced with our latest enterprise drone, the M30. As you can see, it's ruggedized, weatherproof, has a lot of buttons and dials that you can customize. It has detachable antennas and an integrated 1200 nits high bright 7-inch screen. This screen is so good you basically can read it even in bright daylight conditions without the need of a hood or a shade. It also has like protected gimbals, so no dust comes in or like moisture. And you have a very nice harness that the pilot and the gimbal operator can use to attach the remote to relieve the neck and the back from any stress holding the remote all day. We also have like a nice belly stand that you can unfold, so you can keep the remote controller high up. And overall, we really try to get the ergonomics as good as possible in an all-integrated remote controller. You can also use our master wheels. This is like the preferred option for some DPs, especially in the high-end area. The master wheels, or in general wheels, are still very common. So you can control the gimbal with those. And this is all possible through our new O3 Pro digital transmission system. So on the drone, on the remote controller, and also on our high-bright screens, we use the O3 Pro transmission system, which enables us to transmit video and control data up to 50 kilometers, which is like roughly 9 miles. And the great advantage compared to i2 is that you now have a separate downlink stream for the gimbal operator and the pilot. So they don't have to be together in one area anymore. So for instance, the pilot could stand over there, the gimbal operator could stand at the other end of the hall, and they can still work together, control the drone, because they each have a separate dedicated link. There's no link required between the remote controllers anymore, which is a huge upgrade. And as I just said, you can use our high-bright monitor, which then will be the gateway to connect the master wheels. And you can also use our Ronin 4D hand grips. You can pull focus here, and you can control the gimbal with this stick. It also supports our 3-channel follow focus unit, which will be released later. So you can even work in a 3-operator setup: pilot, gimbal operator, and focus puller. On the software side, we also improved things tremendously by integrating Waypoint Pro. So you don't need any third-party apps anymore to create waypoints. It comes all right out of the box on that integrated app. And the great thing is, it's extremely precise, because now you can connect the Inspire 3 to an RTK base station or to an RTK network service. So that gets you centimeter-level precision. So we have 2 integrated RTK antennas that, together with a set of sensors, improve the internal orientation. Normally, in a normal environment, you don't need to rely on the compass at all anymore, which also makes it obsolete to recalibrate the compass and gives you a very precise gimbal horizon. So if you turn around the gimbal 180, on previous aerial gimbals, the gimbal operator always had to correct the horizon. This is a thing of the past, so now you basically can turn the gimbal the way you want, and you don't have to compensate anymore for the horizon. Coming back to the waypoints, we have 2 different options. We have repeatable routes, where you basically fully automatically program the drone. So it will fly its flight path. It will also automatically move the gimbal how you programmed it. So you can exactly repeat the routes as many times as you want. This is very useful if you want to merge 2 shots in post at different day times or seasons of the year. It is, as I said, with the RTK system, centimeter level precise. And there's a second option called 3D Dolly. That's basically a semi-automatic waypoint mission, where the drone flies along a virtual air track, and the pilot can control the speed along that track, and the gimbal operator can still freely control the gimbal. So what's the advantage compared to repeatable routes? Well, on a set, you don't have fully control over the action. So you have to compensate for actors or any props maybe working at a different pace. You pre-program the path of the drone, and then the gimbal operator and the pilot can just accommodate to the action on set. But they don't have to care about the path anymore. It will be the same path as many times as you want, and that's a great way to eliminate variables and to heavily increase the efficiency on set. We also integrated some automated features if you're shooting solo, so you don't have a gimbal operator. We integrated a function called Spotlight Pro, which is basically a virtual gimbal operator. So as a pilot, you just mark your subject on the screen, and then the gimbal will automatically track the subject, and you can freely fly the drone wherever you want. This is really, really useful if you're on a small team and don't want to take care of controlling the gimbal. So there's another cool new feature that we implemented on the i3 called Tilt Boost. In the lower landing gear position, you can see that it's kind of a V shape from top, which gives us a wider stance in the front. And you can also see that the aircraft nose is raised. So this helps providing a higher camera up tilt. So you can see you can go up to 80 degrees now without getting any obstructions in the camera picture. So there were drones before where you could top mount a gimbal and achieve the same thing. What we couldn't do before is go from up to down. And here you finally can. So you can go from basically 80 degrees up tilt to all the way down. You can even go to a negative tilt like this. And the great thing is you don't have to decide whether you want to top mount or bottom mount the gimbal. Basically you have both features integrated and you don't have to swap back and forth.
Okay.
Okay, so we're at the flight cage now and it's actually not that well lit, so it's a good chance to show you again how good the new FPV camera is. So this is the main camera, and then I'll switch to the FPV camera, which you also can freely control. So you can tilt it up and tilt it down, and you can see how good the image transmission quality is and the image quality of the camera. So let's take off. One thing I can show you with a stop the prop, so you see that it's folding props as well, which is a huge upgrade. On the Inspire 3, you always had to remove the props if you wanted to get it in a case. Now we have folding props, so you basically just collapse the props and have an even smaller form factor when you pack it away. So this is the downward position of the landing gear. As I said, up tilt of the camera is really good, up to 80 degrees. And that is possible through the new tilt boost mechanism of the landing gear. And now when we transform the landing gear, you will see how the shape of the landing gear changes. So basically it goes back to an H shape. And as you also can see, if you know the Inspire 2, it now transforms to a steeper angle. It's actually 15 degrees more. So this gives us even more camera clearance in the upward transformation position. So let's switch the gimbal to like free, so it rotates freely and not with the aircraft. So we can now freely control the gimbal, which, as I said, you can do with the master wheels, with a second remote controller, or with the Ronin 4D hand grips.
Hope you're recording.
Huh?
Are you recording?
I'm not.
Take that footage. I would actually put the footage in.
Okay.
What kind of quad is it?
Which frame rate do you need?
29.97.
360-degree rotation of the camera.
I think that'd be good footage.
This is the new controller, right?
Yes, the RC Plus, yeah.
RC Plus, right?
I'll show you the rotation of the FPV camera. So, see, now
Oh, that's cool, isn't it? How much time have you had with this?
a lot.
You're doing a good job. Yeah. If you haven't recorded us, maybe that could be our close. Is from that camera. So
Yeah, let me film it like on. This looks cool, right? I'm Ferdinand Wolf with DJI at the DJI booth at NAB 2023, and we're showcasing our new drone for professionals, the DJI Inspire 3. Cool.
Right.